Welcome to Skills Rwanda. We are live, and thank you so much for joining us today. I know so many people are waiting. Thank you so much for waiting. If you're a first-time visitor here, very much welcome. And just give us a like or tell us a comment. Say, this is my first time here, and we will greet you really nicely. And if you've been here, if you're our biggest fan, if you're the biggest person who is all about career development and career progress, and you've been here multiple times, thank you so much. And you can also tell us in the comment section which is your, like right now, this is your how many career space, like how many career space sessions have you attended? I just want to hear from the audience, like how many career sessions have you attended? Personally, I've been here for all of them, 4, 5, you can count. So tell me if you have attended 2, just write 2 in the comment section. If you have attended 5, if you have attended only 1, or if this is your first one, please let us know. And thank you so much for always tuning in. So today we have special experts, and just to remind the people, if it's your first time here, this is Skills Rwanda, and we are the program is known as Career Space because we do talk about anything to do with career development. So we have a program lined up, and before we've talked about how to write a resume that stands out. We've talked about cover letter writing, showing your progress on social media, also just how you project yourself if you're looking for a job. We've also talked about internships if you're a person looking for internships. We've also talked about online learning platforms, that is Coursera. We've talked about Google, Udemy. And so if you remember all those sessions, welcome once again. If you don't know the sessions, on the same platform where you're watching us from, you can as well look at the programs. It's Skills Rwanda. You can subscribe to our to the YouTube channel so you don't miss out any session. And today, it's a very special one. Let's say you've done your cover letter, you've wrote your resume, and you've networked, and you've applied, and then it's time to enter into the room for your interview. So what are you going to do? So that is the topic that we're discussing today, job interviews. How do you stand out? How do you make a great impression? What do you need to know when you're going in? How do you build your confidence so that you showcase the skills that you have without, bragging or even falling off? And, how do you appeal to the interviewee? So thank you so much for joining us. You're very much welcome. I'll appreciate. I'd like actually to give a special thank you to those people who have been waiting. I've been seeing that you've been waiting. So I'm going to bring up my co-host. And if it's your first time again and you don't remember my name is right here on the screen. My name is Lydia Ingabidi. I work as a labor market matching specialist at RDB. And that is what I do is to make sure that what employers are expecting from a job seeker is really met. So as an employer, this is a two-way street. As an employer, you want people to know your expectations. And as a job seeker, you want to know the expectations of the hiring manager so that you stand out in that opportunity that you're trying to look at. So without so much, I would like to welcome my co-host, Norbert. You've seen him around. Welcome, Norbert.
Thank you very much, Lydia, and warm welcomes. Today is Friday, so I hope you're excited about going into the weekend. But before we go into the weekend, we are here, Career Space. We're happy to have you here as always. We're happy that you're joining from a safe place. And it hasn't been easy, of course. Usually we have these sessions on a Thursday, but today we've hosted it on Friday because, as you know, yesterday was Happy Independence Day, and I hope you celebrated and enjoyed it well. It was also Independence Day in Burundi and Somalia, so Happy Independence Day to them as well. It's good that we share these kind of days and we recall these types of days. So yesterday we decided not to disturb your public holiday, and we will host it today. So happy to have you here. As Lydia has just told you, please write to us, tell us which career space sessions you've attended, which ones you enjoyed the most. Why did you enjoy it? Just let's interact with each other. You can just type it in the comment box on the side there, and we will be reading some of your comments. I see here Clement already saying, thank you for giving us this opportunity. You know, it's always a pleasure. As we always say, we exist for you guys. We're here to give you that information that you so much need and look forward to. And we'll always be here. I know it's COVID and people are not moving as much as they were, but we will never forsake you. We'll always be here for you. That's every 2 weeks. The last time we were here, we talked about the e-learning platforms that you can use. But and so today we will be talking about how to prepare for a job interview. And as we go into the weekend, I know even Sunday is Liberation Day, so hopefully you will celebrate that. Stay safe. COVID numbers are going up, so we don't want to hear that you're sick. Protect yourself at all time. Wear a mask, social distance, and so that you can always come back and enjoy our sessions and listen to our advice. Today, as we said, we're talking about how to prepare for a job interview. This is something that is always, it's actually very necessary. It's something that you will go through. Some of you have already gone through many interviews. I'm sure your career guidance advisors have told you, given you advice and tips on how to handle yourself when you go for a job interview. But it doesn't hurt to listen again, and this time to listen from subject matter experts who are actually in this field. And these are our two special guests that we have here today. I think you can see them at the bottom of the screen. We have Jocelyn from REG. So she's been in this space of human resource. She's the manager at REG in human resource. So she's done lots of interviews. If you've been there, if you've done an interview there, you probably know her. She's also been at Unguka Bank and also at National Institute of Statistics in Rwanda. So if you've ever done interviews in those places or plan to do an interview in REG, will be a familiar face. On the other hand, we also have Sharon from SNV. SNV is a Dutch NGO. It's like the USAID of the Netherlands. So if you're looking for a job in that kind of space, you want to listen very closely to Sharon. She will tell you what she's experienced when conducting interviews and what you really need to look out for. So again, and she's also been with NFT. If you've interacted with NFT in some form of way, you've probably also met her, and also VSO. So in the space of the non-government organizations, she's been there for some time, and she will obviously share with you what the experience there is like. So without taking up much of your time, let me bring on the special guests to introduce themselves. I think we can just start off with Jocelyn. Jocelyn, go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much, Norbert. Thank you so much, Lydia, for this time. It's a good opportunity to meet you all of you, the audience. Some are of fresh graduates, young graduates, and I'm here. I'm called Jocelyn Wamahoro, as Norbert says before. I'm currently working for Rwanda Energy Group, REG, which stands as the Rwanda Energy Group Limited. And I'm working as the head of human resource in one of its subsidiaries called the Energy Utility Corporation Limited. So Rwanda Energy Group has two subsidiaries. One is Energy Utility Corporation Limited, you will see EUCL, and another one is the Energy Development Corporation Limited. So those two companies, we are interested with energy development and utility service delivery. So if you have an issue with electricity, just go to our website, tweet on, and everything. Just call 2727. We will just help you. So before joining Rwanda Energy Group, I also worked for public sector and the banking sector as well. So I also have met many candidates. Maybe you are among of them. you have worked for either casual working, you have maybe worked as a permanent employee. We have maybe crossed a path in different interviews. So this is your time to follow about some hints, some tips about how to prepare for job interviews. So thank you so much, Norbert, for this time.
Okay, thank you very much for that warm remarks, Jocelyn. Yeah, so and then we'll now hand over to Sharon to also just tell us a bit more about herself and the company she represents. Over to you, Sharon.
Thank you so much, Norbert. Thank you, Lydia and Joycelyn. My name's Sharon Bamurebe. I'm currently working with SNV Rwanda as the human resource. SNV Rwanda is an NGO, like Norbert mentioned. We mainly do advisory with farmers. We're into agriculture, we're into energy, we are into wash, sanitation, and yeah, I am sure that most of you that live in, we mainly work in the rural areas. I'm sure that you have met an SNV advisor, like, people in agriculture. We're doing a lot of work to promote agriculture and, yeah, to make it sustainable. And prior to SNV, I was into consultancy with NFT. NFT is a consultancy firm, and that's where I can say that I met many fresh graduates. I'm sure that most of you on this platform are in that category. Yeah, I did lots of interviews. I can't remember how many, because yeah, that is the life when you're trying to find people placements. Yeah. So yeah, as we have planned for this session, I'm sure that we're going to tap into the wealth of Jocelyn, and I hope to share with you what I have learned over the years. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Sharon. Thank you, Jocelyn, both of you. Yeah, I think now the audience kind of has a bit of background on who you are. So just before we get into the presentations, I just want to remind our audience, please follow us on Skills Rwanda. We are on Twitter, we're on Facebook, we're also on LinkedIn. And for your friends who might have not been able to join the session today, please let them that it is being recorded and will be on Facebook at Skills Rwanda, but also our YouTube channel, Skills Rwanda, which you are actually watching on right now. So please share with them the link and let them know that it's always there. Even our previous sessions are also always there. So if you've missed any of them or they've missed this one, they can just rewatch it again later on. Okay, so without further ado, I think maybe Lydia, if you have anything to say before we jump straight into the presentations.
No, I think we're ready for Jocelyn to share with us what her expectations are. If you're going to enter into a room of an interview, what do you do before you get into the room? What do you do when you get into the room? And much more. So, Jocelyn, the floor is yours to follow. And Jocelyn is also going to talk about virtual interviews. As you know, with the current situation of the pandemic, interviews are hosted virtually, since in person sometimes are limited. And what we usually want to make sure that is happening is that what is going on. Like, how do you handle yourself in terms of, if you're hosting a virtual, you've been asked to do a virtual interview, how do you impress people even when you're not in the room with them, far away on the computer, just like we're far away from you right now, but then we are very much close to you on your screen right now. So how do you handle yourself in that particular situations? These are new normal situations that we have to adjust to. So we're here to give you tips on how you make that transition as well, make it smooth. So I think we're ready, Jocelyn?
Yes, I'm ready. Can you see my screen, please?
Yes. And Yes, in the audience, if you can see a screen, please let us know.
Okay. So thank you so much, Lydia and Norbert. This is a presentation of, we will see how to be prepared before and during interviews. And of course, to see how should you do, what should we do when you want to prepare for a virtual interviews. Then you will see some different tips and, everything, always we have to run everything new. So let's start by this quote of Bobby Knight. Bobby Knight was a coach, American coach of basketball, yes, basketball coach. He used to use this quote: the will to succeed is important, but what is more important is the will to prepare. So even though we want to change work, we want to have a new career, we want to advance on our career. Yes, we have that will to succeed. But what is important, but what is more important is the will to prepare. So let's go into it. This presentation will help us to equip you with the skills and approach required to be successful in person job interviews. When you enter in that room, you have the panel the other side of the table, and also when you what will be doing on virtual interviews. So despite your good communication skills and good subject knowledge, some candidates are not able to get good opportunities in career. Why? Just because they do not know how to tackle interviews and group discussions for the optimal results. So we will see all together how to respond some common and tricky interview questions. Why is it important? Why do we have to prepare ahead? We have those three. We need to improve our comfort and confidence. So going forward to today's slides, you will see some tips that makes you being comfort and confident. Then while you're preparing for an interview, you gain some constructive feedback. Either you have to change, either you have to formulate in another way. Those feedbacks helps you to gain confidence and succeed in your interview. Also, to understand your body language. Body language, we will see about it. Well, body language is an essential thing. If you are in the room and you start like using your body like you are not in front of your people, you have to behave like a professional. How to use your fingers, how to use how you have to smile, how you have to sit. Those things are the one you have to know before, and during preparation you have to be ready about those three things. So before they are you get address, you get the date, you get the hour of an interview. So what you have to do first to get prepared for that interview, I firstly recommend to know about that company. Go in that company, research about that company. We have website, we have online, we have different documentations. So go deep there, research about that company, look about their missions, visions, values, core values, their history, what they want to, their missions. Because you are going there to request a job, you want a position there to contribute to their success. So you have to know about their history, about their failure, about their success. Make sure if you know the company, the first thing will be just a tick. And you have to know the industry. The company is not enough. If you are applying in the bank, let me say you are applying for the bank. You have to know about the industry, banking industry. How is it working? So know about some examples in different industries. Then you have to research about your interviewer. Sometimes we know when we give a communication of interviews, sometimes we don't mention panelists, but you can understand on yourself. You say maybe some of the panelists will be those people, maybe my supervisor, those people understanding the field, and the human resource, of course, will be there. So you start investigating, knowing, researching on those panelists. This helps you to make you comfort, to know who will be there, what questions might come up when you see their CVs. And this to know the interviewer, you have to look on different platforms, social platforms. In LinkedIn, now we are using more LinkedIn. If you go in LinkedIn and look at Jocelyn, I'm telling you, you will see my old CV. So in that case, you can know what expertise, what experience they have, okay? Then before entering in the room, you have to prepare a set of questions, different questions related to your job description, related to the company, as I said, related to those common questions that we will see with Sharon later. And then I always advise people to conduct a mock interviews. A mock interviews is just wow. It's just something that will let you know or make you comfort. You can say what is a mock interview? You pretend like you are in an interview. You just contact your friend. You just contact your family members. You just contact anyone, and then you start presenting and asking questions. When you are asking questions when you are asked questions, you can feel like you are now in the mood. You are already there. So those feedbacks you will have will make you correcting and perfectioning. So rehearsal and rehearsal, prepare and prepare. Then before entering, when you are invited in the interview, you have to clean and press your clothes. My friend, you have to iron, you have to impress the panelists, because the first impression always matters. So make sure you are in a clean dress, you are in a clean suit, maybe you are in a shirt, but you tight in, you look professionally. So those are other things that you have to put in your mind. Dress for the role. That means either you have a tie with your shirt, or you have a suit, your outfit, and then choose about colors. Even colors matters. Don't bring those colors like you are a policeman in the room. No, just choose those dark colors. It's always good, and the style also matters. Then you have to create a note with critical terms and names. If you are applying for, like, you are an accountant, you have to know that those terms are usually used by accountants. You will see those critical terms maybe in job descriptions, maybe on Google. So try always to note down those critical terms and use it while you are in an interview. Again, you have to make sure your cell phone is off. Don't be disturbed with our mobile phone. Sometimes you will see a candidate entering, starting to answer questions. The person is comfortable, but in her bag or in her pocket, in his pocket, you see the telephone is ringing, my friend, this will not look good to the panelists. Even you, it will disturb you. So try to always turn your phone off. Okay. So this to eat, you have to eat. You have to look like you are energized. You don't have to look like you don't have energy. So don't think panelists will not notice that thing. So make sure you eat healthy meal, you sleep well the night, otherwise you will look like a drunkard. So avoid that and make sure you are looking fresh. Your face is like fresh. You are energy. You have energy to work. You have energy to speak. And when you walk in the room, you are like they feel the presence. Your presence. So another thing you have to consider is about stories from your previous positions. So while responding any questions in the interview, try to use those stories from previous positions. Again, you have to arrive some minutes ahead. Arrive at least 30 minutes in advance. Why? Uh, you can't come late in the room and you are like panelists waiting for you. Firstly, the time management on your side is being doubtable. So try to be on time, avoid those lateness, unnecessary lateness. Come in advance, sit there, familiarize, link with the space, greet the receptionist, greet everyone there, then sit and breathe in advance. Okay, in that regard, it will make you feel like you are ready for the interview. So this also is a tips to consider to avoid to avoid being nervous. So this job interview etiquette. Look at these girls waiting for interview. Some are need this position, another one is looking upside. Then other one here is seated lights right, like she's ready to enter in the room. So while waiting, also consider how you sit, how you speak, okay, how you greet people. Okay, so please consider everything while entering in that building or in that venue. So in the room as well, make sure you sit like this image. So you sit upright, okay, your shoulders up. Don't sit like this man. You are not in a bar, you are not in your dining room, you are not in your sitting room, you are just in front of professionals, you are just in front of panelists that wants professional people to get that job. So those are just examples of how you can wear. Either you have a suit, a good suit, or have a shirt, or you have or you have some outfit. Just choose those colors, dark colors, to look like you are a professional, really. So another thing, when you are in the room, then control about your body language, okay, and focus. Be authentic. Then fix your panelist, eye contact. Try to always smile. Don't be like you are angry. You don't have any, you are not fighting. You are just there to show enthusiasm. Okay. And make sure you sit correctly. Okay. Don't sit like you are just sleeping, you want to sleep, or just you want to to play with your hairs. No, just be professional, control your body language, focus, be authentic. You you fix eye contact with the panelists. Don't look down tables and look everywhere, just fix them and try to smile, to always smile and posture. Okay, this will help you to look like you are professional, you are relaxed, you are able to start with them, with the questions. You are relaxed in any way. Okay. Another tips on this right column, I said, be confident in your mind. Just put always to be confident. Show them that you are confident. Being confident is not like something easy. Either you are prepared, you are not disturbed, you came early, and you work really like, show them like you are confident, okay? And again, keep a positive outlook. Panelists or employers need those people with positive energy, positive outlook. They want you to hire you because they see something from you can contribute in their performances. Then give a suitable responses. We said about preparations. We said about how to prepare those. You pretend to be in an interview and you prepare some related questions, different questions. So try to give a suitable response, okay? And never don't say you don't know something. If they ask you, try to respond. Cite relevant examples. Try to be authentic, okay? Relevant examples comes from our previous employers. They want to understand if you are giving a certain response, how you relate with an example, a real one. Either you have been in an area doing A, B, C, D, or you have read something related to this. That gives you some credit or gives you some results, good results. Again, listen carefully. Listen carefully is you can relate it with eye contact. When you fix them, try to listen carefully, okay? And look through the resume. Of course, you have it in your head. Either you have it in front of you, but try to relate what you are talking with the resume, because they called you, they have your resume, yes, they have appreciated your resume. So try to link what you say with the resume you have in front of you. So another part is the way forward of interviews. Do you think we will always be present in the room, face to face? No. Now with this pandemic, okay, with this pandemic, COVID-19, we have seen changes, many changes. Now we are working from home. We are doing things online. We are cashless. Even interviews are now going to virtually, online interviews. Why? The benefits of it is time saving, yes, because maybe you have a schedule of doing something, and just in that time, for 30 minutes or 1 hour, you just sit somewhere, you have tools, you have everything. You just go in the interview, and after that interview, you continue with your work. It's time saving and cost saving. Imagine I'm working for REG and calling a candidate who sits in Rusizi. When we use virtual interviews, of course, it saves costs. And again, we are now trying to curb the spread of COVID-19, okay? So while using these virtual interviews, we will reduce contamination of COVID-19. We are just now trying to reduce our contacts, to reduce unnecessary journey, you know. So this is some of the benefits. So you can say, what are the ways of doing virtual interviews? There are two ways. Either the recruiter can ask you to prepare a one-way video interviews. He gives you a certain topic, and from that topic, you just go in front of your camera, your computer, your telephone, and you record what you have to answer. Then you send that video. From that video, the recruiter will see many things. We said about body languages, we said about skills, we said about confidence and everything. In that video, the recruiter can analyze many things. So another way of doing virtual interviews or online interviews, we have live video interviews, like what we are doing now. We are on your end with your computer or telephone, and then the panelists are on other side, but you are facing each other online. They ask you something, you have to respond. They ask and you have to respond. So how can you do, what can you do to prepare about those video interviews? Preparation for virtual interviews or online interviews. I said about 10 bullets here. You have to use your computer. I'm always advising to use computers. Why? Because computers, you appear like you are professional, not a phone. A phone will, yes, you can use a phone when you don't have a computer, but if you have a computer, I always advise you to use a computer. It looks more professional than using a phone. And then put your computer in a high level so that the camera is well placed. So maybe you can ignore this bullet, but it is important. When someone is looking you from down and another one is looking just in front of you, you appear more good, well, and it's always to show the real you, the panelist, okay? Steady internet connection. Internet connection is really a good one. Make sure your connection is steady, okay? Otherwise, you will start to talk, and the internet will just disrupt, and you say or you go out. So try to have that good connection, okay? Then you have to check about on your background. Okay. A moment. Okay. Lydia?
Yes.
Lydia?
Yes, we can hear you, Jocelyn.
Can you see me?
We can hear you. Just to wrap up things so that we're not caught up with time, just letting you know.
Okay, great. Thank you. Just to end. I was saying about your background. Make sure you are not in the kitchen. Check your lighting, check your clothes and colors. As I said before, just have a bottle of water near you. Install your video conference software in advance and smile and show them you are energetic, as I said. So to conclude, apply those 3 P's in your head: prepare, practice, and present. Prepare ahead, just those mock interviews, and present. And always learn new things, okay? because interviews doesn't really about those skills acquired in classrooms. It acquires many things. So always learn new things and apply those three P's. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Jocelyn, for the presentation. And I hope you got all the tips. I won't repeat them because you and I were here in this session and we're tuning in. So we're going to hear from Sharon some of the questions that you may be having. And as we are posing some questions to Sharon, I would like you as well to give us some tips that you've used before that have helped you. If you've been in an interview before, what did you think you did good that made you stand out? Give us that tip. And if you do have any question, pose it in the comment section and then we'll respond to it. But just to get to you, Sharon, we've had so many great experiences and tips. Now we want to put them in practice. For example, we have that question that never misses. It says, tell us about yourself. How can you talk about that question? How do you answer that question to not sound bossy, to sound confident, to show, the person you are? So how do you answer that question? Tell us about yourself.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much, Lydia and Joycelyn. Thank you, everyone who's here. To respond to this question, if the panel asks you, tell us about yourself, what the employer on this end, or the human resource, or the hiring manager, or the head of department wants to actually know is your professional information. We want to know, of course, yes, tell us your name, and then go straight into your career, beginning with your most recent or current role. Even if you're telling us what you're doing, please make sure that you limit it to what this job requires. Not all organizations are the same. Not all organizations do the same kind of work the same way, or even departments will let know. But however, when the advert is out there, they have put what their requirements are. So if you are working, for example, in a human resource role at SNB, and you are applying for a human resource role in REG, for example, but then with REG, they want someone who can do both operations and human resource. Probably you have, in your current role, you're doing human resource, but then before, you have been doing some operations. So you should marry the two, but in summary, yeah, you don't want to drag the question, you don't want to drag the interview, you want to give the employer the relevant information. So here what we're talking about is please stick to your professional information. Yes, I have seen some people who like to talk about their family background. That's very good and very important. But right now, you are selling yourself to a potential employer. So you give them the information that they want to know. You can also go ahead and talk about your strengths. You can mention a few. For example, if it's a role that requires a bit of analysis of some point, maybe research or something, and you know that you're good, your analytical skills are good, please put that forward. Talk about I can analyze information, I can use this and this software. Basically, give the employer the information they need. I hope it's clear, right?
Yes, it's very clear. So you want to talk about yourself in terms of what you're bringing to the table, how your previous experience has prepared you for this job.
Exactly. That, and
Great.
just that's all that we want to know. And
Yeah.
then from there, the employer can decide if you're a good fit, because, like my colleague talked about body language. Body language goes with attitude. So these are things that you train yourself. No one teaches you. Before you apply to an institution, just like my colleague mentioned, you have done research. Please also understand what's the culture of that institution. Do
Sure.
they do they want do they want the kind of people who are into team build to like people who are out there? Do they want extroverts? Are you okay being an introvert? Things like that. Basically, find out how best can I fit and present yourself in that kind of way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. And we do have some, I'm going to alternate a bit, and then we're going to see, we have some questions and comments from our audience, and people are asking, let me find a good question here. Very useful tips. This goes to Jocelyn. I'll just pause it for you. Norbert, do you want to go for it?
Well, thank you, Lydia. And so, Jocelyn, this is a question for you from Diana. And she's asking, Dear Jocelyn, the problem we face sometimes is that we don't understand the question. For example, when your interviewer is as a white person, you fail because you're not able to work, but because you of the language. So that's, I think, just in case of language barrier. Some people don't speak English. Should they handle that kind of situation?
Okay, thank you, Norbert. And thank you, Diane, for this question. Really, in our culture, in this country, we have that barrier of language, okay? So I always encourage people to learn, to do extra mile, to increase their knowledge in English. So you might maybe face or sit in a panel where there is a white people, as you said, American English. They are speedy like this, okay? And your listening is not at that level. So it's not a shame to talk that they can go slowly. It's not a shame. So try to ask the panelists to go slowly so that you can understand the question.
Yes.
Listening when you are listening BBC, Al Jazeera, and everything, they are go speedy, faster. So try to say that, please, kindly, can you go slowly and understand the question? And then always I advise people to increase the English skills. Yeah.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, Jocelyn, for that. Sharon, do you have any comment on that question?
Yes, I do. Thank you so much, Diane, for this question. Yes, like my colleague mentioned, Jocelyn mentioned, there's a problem of language barrier. Well, there is something that we also don't want to miss, something called, yes, you teach yourself, but what is your attitude towards this job? Yeah. So what is your attitude? If it's a positive attitude, if it's an attitude that that motivates you to want to do better, believe me, your employer sees that. And the more you try, this language will not be a problem. However, you may say that we don't even have where to start from. I will say that please take advantage of the opportunities of internships. Internships are not available to just waste people's time. Please go in there with the attitude of, I must learn as much as I can for this period, 6 months, 2 months, 1 month, be there to learn, and you will soon be acquainted with the communication language and the job requirements. And as you progress in your career, language will cease to be a problem.
Yes. Um, Thank you so much, Sharon, for that comment. Now let's
Sorry,
talk
sorry,
about.
Lydia. Can I just
Yes.
jump in there also just to complement what Jocelyn said? Um, yeah, feel free to always ask them to repeat the question, but also just to make sure that you understood the question properly. It doesn't also hurt to re-say the question again and ask them if you've got it right. So if I was in that case and I didn't understand what they asked me, I'd sort of say, is it right that you're asking me about my past experience? Is that what you're actually asking me? And that way you confirm what you think you have heard. Thank you.
That's great. That's a great tip. Now we do have some of the common question that people ask is that where do you see yourself in 5 years? That's something that usually comes up. Sharon, would you walk us through if you were on the other side of the table as the job seeker? How do you respond to such a question?
Well, as a job seeker, how would I respond to this question? Maybe to give you a background to this question, yeah? First of all, when they ask you where do you see yourself in 5 years, every company has a strategy. Yeah, every company has a strategy. So they want to see how you will fit all the way. Maybe that job is for now, but do you have that desire to grow? Yeah. So, for example, I will answer this question in such a way that in 5 years, maybe, for example, I applied for an administration role, and I would like to get into the human resource department. So I would say, in 5 years, I see myself fully grounded into the human resource field. I'd like to become a human resource manager or head of department. However, along the way, within this time between now and the 5 years, between now and when the 5 years elapse, I hope to have gained some information. And to that, I am looking to upgrade myself into this field. And next month, I am starting my MBA with a major in human resource. So I have a journey, I have direction. I'm showing my employer that there is focus. I have a line I want to walk in. So can you help me travel my desired path?
Yes, yes.
Another thing
That's
that I can add, Lydia, on this, avoid to say that you want you want to be a manager. Like you are an officer. In 5 years, I want to be a manager, a head of department, or a CEO. I don't know. It's not proper. You have to show that interest of growing your career, yes, to be perfectionist and expert in whatever you do, but don't specify that you are just coming in this company to join the higher position.
Take over.
It will be a tricky one. Yeah.
Yes, I'm just going to look through our questions from our audience and see what do they have for us. I think I'm going to present this to Sharon. So the question says, tell how can I carry myself when they, I think you wanted to say, ask me question I don't know while in an interview.
Oh, okay. Yeah. If in case the panel asks you a question you're not familiar with, I think it's right to say, well, my knowledge is limited in this area. I am not familiar with this kind of aspect. So please allow me to let this pass.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're humbly putting yourself out there to say that I have not come across this.
Yeah.
However, If I can learn, it's okay. But
Yeah.
it has not come into my way before.
Yeah, I think it's also good to be honest with yourself so you don't lie. As much as you want to answer all the questions that have been presented to you, uh, it's okay to be honest with yourself and say, okay, I don't know this question. Also, like, it happens, we are all human, and don't try to lie about something that we really have no idea about. Thank you so much. I think Emmy, Father, you have they have responded to your question, but if I can also say something to that, most of the questions that they will ask you in an interview will be questions that maybe if you researched about the company, if you've read on their website, it's something that is in there, or if you've read the job description that you're going for, it's something in that sphere. Don't I don't think it would be viable for an interviewer to ask you something that is really out very much outside of that scope, either from your job description that I've said when putting out the advert, or from their website, all as a normal in the normal working space. Yeah. But to follow up with that, I don't know if anyone has any response to that. We can just move on to the next one. So uh, now, when you as well, when you're in a job interview, there's this question that I always ask, and they do go hand in hand with what are your greatest aspects, and then I also ask your weaknesses. And we tend to stumble, and I think I've been a victim of this at one particular time when I was going through my career journey, and they ask you about your weaknesses. How do you portray those? If I can ask Sharon, if you don't want to come off as someone who's really not suited for the job, how do you present your weaknesses?
Thank you very much, Lydia. So, to talk about your weakness, you're showing the employer that I noticed that I have 5% that I need to improve. Yeah. Because even when they say that, what they say is when you're applying for a job, even if you have the full experience, there's always that 15% that you need to learn from the organization. So, what is your weakness is not a question that should throw you off balance. It's an opportunity for you to show that I have room. I am improving daily. I am learning daily. So you should present them in a way that they are in between positive and negative. For example, if you say something like, I'm a perfectionist, um, being a perfectionist, that means that you're the kind that will, for the side of the weakness, will seem like you are you're the kind who delays to because you want everything to be perfect. Yeah, you don't want to leave room for mistakes. But again, on the other hand, being a perfectionist is a good thing. So you're in between the negative and the positive. So that means you are a work in progress in this area. And it's okay to mention that, yeah, I am working towards this. I am allowing myself room to learn. I'm allowing myself room to actually not do something so well. But in the end, in like maybe the next 3-4 months, I am going to get better. And again, this also shows the employer that you are the kind that receives constructive feedback. Feedback is
Yes,
constructive towards you. Yeah, and
absolutely.
something to say, I'm shy. I don't talk much. I'm learning to work with people who are slow, because that means that you're the kind who creates who's part of an environment that creates conducive environment for everyone. You won't you won't scold someone for being slow. You will actually like you notice that they're trying, so you're the kind who notices effort from all angles, so you are learning. And again, maybe you're the kind who also takes time to train others. So at the end of the day, it's like you're showing that I'm a work in progress, but in 2, 3 months, I'm getting better and I receive constructive feedback. I receive feedback and it's constructive towards me.
Yes, that's absolutely it. I won't add anything to that. Now, we do have a question from Mucheshimana Chantal. No, but do you mind getting that for us?
Okay, thank you, Chantal, for your question. And so basically, she's just asking, is it a matter to include your family background when they are asking you to express yourself? Do you talk about your family? What can you tell us there, Sharon?
Well, thank you so much, Diane and Norbert, for this. Well, Chantal, your family is very important, very, very important. You know, they've been part of you for all your life. However, right now it is about you and the employer. Yeah, that's why we say that in the beginning, when they ask you tell us about yourself, please talk about you're the one who is present in the moment before your the panel. Yeah, talk about, say, my names are Mucheshimana Chantal. I probably come from Chichuchiro, maybe. This is my experience. Yeah. However, to tell us your father's name, your mother's name, I don't know if all those other details.
They're not that important.
Maybe
I guess
even,
maybe, yeah, I was
maybe
going to say
even,
maybe if you solved a particular problem in your family that you deem is relevant to show the skills that you've shown that could be necessary to this particular job, maybe you can include that. What do you think, Sharon?
yeah. That is a positive attitude towards yourself. Yeah, you can say that I have been part of this and this for my family. But again, at the end of the day, maybe in the panel you're talking to someone who doesn't have a family, who
Yeah.
wasn't raised with a family. Yeah. So for you to mention that how everyone is where they are at what stage in their, you never know what wound you're actually opening up. Yeah. So for for you to understand this, please understand that the interview is you and the employer, the decision maker and you. Just that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And
So
then,
we
yes, you value those other people you go back to after work. Yeah.
Absolutely. I think we do have an interesting question from Tassian. I'm going to, this question does appear a lot. It's a question about salary expectation. I think let's hear from both panelists. Sharon, what do you have to say about this question? And then we're also going to hear from Jocelyn. There is a common question during various oral exams about the salary someone needs to be paid. How can someone answer this question?
Okay. Thank you so much, Tassian, for your question. Well, when you ask this question, they are not trying to get you for other, for something different than the normal. What the employer wants to know is how much are you worth? But however, before getting to this level, we expect that you have done research on the company. Even if you do not know someone in this organization, you know someone that knows someone, and it is your task, the job seeker, to find out what is this position worth. What are they, what are they compensating for this position? And it doesn't hurt if you say the exact amount, because what the employer wants is that once they bring you on board, you are comfortable earning whatever whatever you have asked for. Maybe it's within their structure. How you answer this is, and you can only be within if you collected the right information. Okay, so it doesn't have to say what you feel you're worth. Yeah, but make sure you have collected the right information.
Absolutely. I want to hear from Jocelyn. What do you have to comment on this question?
Okay, my comments on this question is if you are asked about the salary expectation, or I can imagine you have applied to this position and you have done some research on it. Okay. In Rwanda, we don't have like a website where you can search about salary. Okay. But other countries, they have. So in Rwanda, I can advise you to before entering in the interview, just try to contact your people, your friends, working in the same industry, working in the same area, in the same positions, to tell you about maybe the range. Like you are applying to be a cashier in the bank. Maybe you will not find a friend in that particular bank, but you can have a friend of your friends to tell you about car. Maybe teller are paid between this range and this range. So when you go there, try to fix a range from this to this, and don't exaggerate, and always say that you are able to negotiate. Don't never say a fixed, because they can go up or down, slight down. So try to always have a range. I can be paid 300, 500, and always I can negotiate. In that regard, you give them a room to negotiate with you. Yeah. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Nora, do you have something to comment?
Yeah, it's actually another question back to Jocelyn, but also just a comment I just want to make is that personally for me, I've been in several interviews, and 95% of the time, this question always comes up. So whenever you're preparing for it, don't think it will not come up. When you're preparing for your interview, make sure you actually do that research that Sharon and Jocelyn are both telling us about. Just to Jocelyn, I just wanted to go on the side of the public sector. I think MIFOTRA has stipulated a certain range for certain positions in the public sector.
Yes.
Is that information available to the public, and how can they get that those pay grades, those pay ranges?
Okay, it's easier in public sector because the salary scale are published in the Gazette. So if you are going into premature or MIFOTRA, you will download and get salary scale in public sectors. So from public sector, it's not an issue. It's really fixed, and you know exactly what is related to your position applied for. Yeah. The other thing is about private sector.
So they should look for that gazette. Can they get it online? Where can they get that specific gazette?
Yes, online. It is published online. You can get it on Prime Minister's website or MIFOTRA.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much.
Wonderful. I hope everyone, because we did have so many people ask the question about salary, and I hope you've got your answers. And I just want to mention that LinkedIn is a great platform for you to network and get connected with people. Let's say you're going to work in NSV, try looking up NSV on LinkedIn, see what people work there. They could be a mutual friend. Contact them and say, like, oh, I'm trying to apply for this position in NSV. Could you know what salary range they could be offering for this particular, job? I got an interview there. What tips can you give me as I walk in? So familiarize yourself with networking with people. They'll give you an information. Maybe don't ask for the exact same salary, because maybe you're asking about someone's position. And you can get that information, and it's very easy when you connect with people on LinkedIn. So get on LinkedIn if you have not. Now, let me see. We do have another question from Tacy. Tacy says, how do you answer the question of why do you think we should hire you? Sharon?
Oh, hi Tessie. Thank you for this question, and hi Lydia. So how do you answer why do you think we should hire you? Well, first of all, when they're asking you this question, the employer wants to know if you even know what the job requires. Have you read the job description? Have you matched it with your CV? Things like that. Why should we hire you? What makes you the best fit? Yeah. Here, you're going to talk about your experience. Yeah. You're going to show how your experience matches the job that you're interviewing for, and your strength, yeah, your professional strength in this area. So many times you'll hear if the employer even ask you, what strength do you bring to this position? You know, it can be rephrased differently. So it is you saying my experience in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 areas, and my strength, because I am able to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things, you know, this makes me a great fit for this position. But again, like we've been mentioning, don't forget that company culture. Don't forget to make yourself, to invest in yourself, to make yourself a good fit within that organization. Okay. Yeah.
Jocelyn, do you have any comment on that?
Okay. Just to add on is spice yourself. Add spices on what you are talking, because you have same qualification with people outside. You have maybe same experience, but you have to add those spice. You have maybe start about their culture, then you add on the culture of the company, and then experience with evidence. I have done ABCD, and with my experience, I I feel that I'm capable, I'm the one, I'm the right one, I'm the fit to this position because I have done ABCD. In that case, you are beating others.
Okay, great. Just we are summing up. We are trying to conclude. So I'm going to get at two questions, and then as we conclude, but I just want to acknowledge Ipupa from all the way from Namibia. Thank you so much for joining us. And wherever you're joining us from, if you're in Rwanda, if you're outside of Rwanda, we are always welcome. And please let us know if you find this information really helpful to you. I'm going to bring up, we do have a question. I don't know if it's a question. Yes, it's a question. It has a question mark from Jackie. No, but do you mind?
Yeah, so Jackie Mutoni is actually just asking here, answering all the questions in the interview, does that tarnish your image? So is it bad to answer every single question? Sharon, you want to take this on?
Yeah, no problem. Thank you so much for this question, Jackie. Answering all questions in the interview, there is no way, there is no way it's going to bring anything negative towards you. Maybe something we should mention here is the more you interview, the more you do interviews, it gives you experience on how to limit some kind of information. You learn, it opens you up to what is needed in different companies. So you basically learn how to communicate. You learn to use the relevant language for the interviews, So, and also, how to communicate, your body language, attitude, all these things. So answering everything you have been asked, it does not in any way tarnish your image. No. Yeah.
Right.
Not a
Now, I'm
problem.
going to pose one last question that we're going to conclude on. And this is one question that usually comes up at the end of an interview. And it goes like, what questions do you ask? So you're in front of the interviews, and the interviewer says, do you have any questions for us? Sharon, how do you go about that question? What are some of the questions that you can ask an interviewer?
Okay. Thank you so much, Lydia. So, yeah, don't be afraid to ask questions. First of all, we expect that you have done research on the organization. You've read the mission, the vision, you've read about the department. There's all this information that is available out there. So, what can you ask should be relevant, should be relevant to what you feel like you'll be doing. Yeah, it shows a bit of your creativity, if I may say. For example, you might ask something like, how big is this department? For example, maybe you're applying for an administration role, and you want to know how many people you're going to be serving. How big is that department? And then after you can go ahead to try to find out, is this position new? Now, what you're trying to find out here is, will there be a handover for me to read? And maybe something, whose steps am I going to follow? Of course, it won't stop you from establishing your own mechanisms of work, but you want to know, am I going to come and start from zero? Or has there any been work done here? So basically, your questions in the interviews should show that I have read about this organization. I have read about this department. Maybe I have done similar work. How will I relate this? So basically, formulate the question around what you're going to do. You want to keep that kind of focus. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sharon. And I think we have had a lot, and it's been wonderful having every one of you in our audience. Thank you for the great questions. And the questions that we have not got to, we will, get to them. Feel free to reach out to us at skillsrwanda at rdb.rw. And I know someone in our audience asked something to do with internships. Those who did interviews, please send us an email on that, the skills round. I'll just project it here so that you can see it. If you have any further questions, write to us at skills at rdb.ra. You will be able to, get that information. And any other question that we haven't answered, please bear with us. We just got caught, went over some time. So we will be we're very happy. Thank you so much. We'll see you in the next session. And everyone who has joined us, thank you very much. I'm just going to give this time to our speakers, the panelists, and as well as the co-hosts to give us their conclusive remarks. And as well in the chat box, you, our audience, give us some conclusive remarks. Tell us, how was the session? What would you like to hear next? And anything else you want to tell us, please let us know. And now I'll give it to Sharon to give us some remarks, and then Jocelyn, and then Norbert.
Thank you so much, Lydia. Well, yeah, thank you so much for having invited me to this wonderful session. I've pretty much enjoyed myself in this. And one thing I will like our audience to take home from here is it matters so much how much you have coached yourself for your next career move. Yeah, it starts with you. So do some work, coach your attitude, coach your knowledge, invest in yourself as much as you can. And above all, do an honest evaluation of yourself. Basically, do an honest evaluation of yourself so that you know what what is your next move? What is your next step? Yeah, it helps with you understanding, am I suitable for the next move? And of course, that direction. Don't forget to have direction in career. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Jocelyn, do you have any conclusive remarks? Would you like our audience to take away?
Okay, thank you, Lydia, and thank you, the audience. A takeaway, please always prepare yourself before interviews and make research, deep research, and always be on trend. Look on what is going on around you, around the country, the news in the world, okay? In that regard, you will be able to stand, to be confident, to go in the interview without any worry, anything. So again, I can always encourage you to apply. Don't be misled by those negativity, like they have candidate. No, they don't have candidate. Every employer needs a good employee. Every recruiter needs always a good candidate. So stand, fight to be a good one, so that the market will just look at you. And I can maybe end my word here by wishing everyone to stay safe and stay healthy during this pandemic COVID-19. Thank you. Protect yourself. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jocelyn. Norbert, what are some of your takeaways?
Okay, first of all, I just want to thank our special guests, our panelists, Sharon, Jocelyn. You guys were excellent. The advice was great. I could just sit here and listen to you all day, but unfortunately, we do have a time limit. But thank you very much. I think our audience learned a lot, and I'm glad that they could enjoy it. To the audience, thank you again. It's always a pleasure to host and present to you guys, to help you whenever you need it, whenever field you need. And there'll be more of these sessions coming on. Just follow Skills Rwanda on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. And we'll always be communicating these tips, these advices. But before I head out, just a comment on this topic is that I think our panelists have said it, they've emphasized it, but it's all about preparation. Job interviews, it's always not easy. You'll always be nervous because that's just how it is. But the more you prepare for it, the more you lessen that uncomfortability or that the shyness that you have. So if you prepare well for it, you should actually be fine. Job interviews are a way for you to actually show who you are, how well spoken you are, and how confident you are. So always do those mock interviews like Jocelyn had told us, and make sure you're prepared for it. If you're prepared, then you sound prepared. They will hear it in your voice and also in your attitude and the way you carry yourself. That's all the best, and thank you very much. And see you in a few weeks again.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone. I want to thank the panelists. You did a great job. And from what we can see in our audience, they're very much sending a thank you. You've given great advice to them. And I'm sure they're going to use them so that they can stand out the next time they get into the room for an interview. And Diane is talking about a session, but we covered that. That was our first session. If you just scroll down and go to Skills Rwanda, you will see a session about writing a resume, and it covers everything to do with either if you're a recent graduate and you're looking to how to phrase your experience. It all has it on there, including using your volunteer experience, internship, and all that. So Please subscribe to Skills Rwanda YouTube. Follow us so you don't miss any session. It's been wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us, and have a lovely weekend. I will see you next time. Usually our sessions are on Thursday. This was an exceptional one, and we got an exceptional audience. So we're very much thanking you. Please share these sessions with your friends. Encourage them to subscribe to Skills Rwanda, and then you'll be always getting great tips to help you throughout your career journey. And we thank you so much. Feel free to contact any of us on LinkedIn and let us know if you have any questions that are remaining, and then we can answer them. And that's it for now. Please have a wonderful time, and we'll see you next time. Bye.